Hare Krishna. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advait Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advait Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advait Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So in Navadip, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would occupy himself as a teacher, Nimai Pandit. He would have his own school, Gurukul, and teach students grammar. He was very expert. And over a period of time, as he was growing up, Jagannath Mishra, he left his body. His father went back home, back to Godhead. And he performed all the antim samskars and took care of his mother. At that time, the devotees in Navadip, Mayapur, were very few. And all the other non-devotees, they were very, very unhappy because of not doing bhakti. Some were atheists, some were fruity workers, some were struggling with their senses, no sense control, doing sinful activities. Some were demigod worshippers, some were Mayavadis, some were just Martha Brahmanas doing karmakand rituals, some were Shaktas, worshippers of Mother Kali. So it was all hodgepodge. And the devotees, they were also very unhappy, seeing other people unhappy. A Vaishnava, he doesn't have his personal happiness or unhappiness, but he is very compassionate. When he sees others in pain, he also feels pain. That is called compassion, karuna, and that's a very good quality. We should help others who are in pain by connecting them to Krishna. Para dukkha dukhi. Feeling distress or seeing others in distress. Nowadays we have opposite quality. Para dukkha sukhi. Or para sukha dukhi. That's called envy. Seeing others happy or successful, I don't feel nice. Or seeing others in pain, I have entertainment, I enjoy that information. This is third class mentality. This enviousness. We should love everybody. We should not be upset if somebody is successful, if somebody is happy. Then will whole life be unhappy, because whole life somebody we will find who is happy, who is successful, who is better than us. We'll never be on the top of the world. Somebody will be above us, superior to us in some way. And seeing that person will be unhappy. Somebody will be more wealthy than us, somebody will be more attractive than us, somebody will be in a higher post than us. Somebody will be more popular than us. So whole life will be unhappy because of that somebody. Not because of that somebody, because of us. So this is very bad. Should clean it by Harinam. So the Vaishnavas were very unhappy seeing others unhappy. And Caitanya Mahaprabhu saw this. So that time Caitanya Mahaprabhu decided, let me start preaching. And before preaching, let me go to Gaya to do my father's shraddh. Taking permission from his mother, Caitanya Mahaprabhu with some of his students, he started his journey to Gaya. On the way, they will keep on debating and arguing philosophical points, and they will have a good time. Caitanya Mahaprabhu is such a heavy, high scholar that among the assembly of big, short scholars, much senior in age to him, he would write a statement on the board and tell people to prove it. And they will not be able to prove it. So then he will give such logical arguments and prove that statement that everybody will be convinced. And after that he will tell people, now disprove this. They are already convinced about it. They can't. Then Caitanya Mahaprabhu will give another class and break all his arguments and disprove the statement, and everybody will be convinced now. And after that, now he says, again prove it. Again he will break these arguments and again prove the statement. And he will go on and on and on. So he was a very big scholar. Of course, he is Lord himself, so he has that skill and he was having that pastime. But there are some people in this world who like arguments. You sit in the meeting to prove dead body alive and alive wasn't dead. So same thing he would go on the way with his students. He would go on debating, logic, argument and enjoy. And one day he had fever. His students love him so much they panicked. Somebody brought medicine, somebody brought a physician, somebody gave some other treatment. It was not working out. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said the only cure for this fever is bring the dust of the feet of a devotee. And they went to the village and bring the dust of the feet of a Brahmana devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu applied that dust on his head and he was cured. So he taught that even I take the dust of the feet of my Vaishnavas. Who are you not to do? So that's very great mercy. And eventually they reached Gaya, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took bath in the river, did some shraddha at some of the ghats for his father. And then he went to see the lotus feet of Vishnu. In Gaya, lotus feet of Vishnu are worshipped. They are an imprint. And so many devotees were there, so many visitors to see, to take darshan, and so many Vaishnavas and Brahmanas sitting and offering prayers and reciting Vedic mantras. And the lotus feet was worshipped by so many tulsi leaves and flowers and fruits and sweets and whatnot. And so much water was being poured as Abhishek. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the lotus feet and he became ecstatic. These were the same lotus feet which Mother Lakshmi likes to serve. Mother Lakshmi is Chanchal. Chanchal means restless. She doesn't stay at one place for a long time. Today somebody is rich, tomorrow he is poor. Today somebody is poor, tomorrow he is rich. But Lakshmi has stayed with Narayan for so long time, eternally, because she can't leave the lotus feet of Narayan. These are the same lotus feet which Lord Shiva takes on his head. These are the same lotus feet Lord Brahma takes on his head. Same lotus feet which when washed with water, that water becomes Ganges. And Lord Shiva and Brahma and four Kumara, they take those Ganga water on their head. And anybody who takes bath in Ganga water, all his sinful reactions go away. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had tears and tears coming from his eyes as if shower, as if rain. So all the people were surprised how somebody can cry so much. At that time, Ishwar Puri, the great disciple of Madhavendra Puri, who was residing in Gaya at that time, he came to take darshan of the lotus feet of Vishnu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ishwar Puri saw each other. They had met earlier in Navadip, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu highly respected Ishwar Puri, invited him for prasad in his house and served him once. Ishwar Puri is a pure devotee of Krishna, who is always absorbed in Krishna prem. So Ishwar Puri came. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Ishwar Puri. Ishwar Puri saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They were so happy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu paid obeisances and embraced, Ishwar Puri embraced Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he said, Pandita, I am so happy to see you. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu folded his hand. He said, my dear Prabhu, I came to Gaya to perform shraddha for my father, but by seeing you, millions of my ancestors are liberated. And that's true. By serving a pure devotee of Krishna, we get much, much more benefit than any other process in the world. So, Chaitanya said, I am very happy having your darshan. Ishwar said, Pandita, I am so happy seeing you. Yesterday night I had a dream that I am seeing Krishna. And today by seeing you I am feeling the same joy. And they spoke for some time. And left that place. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued going to various ghats, doing shot for his father. Ram Ghat, where Lord Ramchandra did, Yudhishthir Ghat, and Preta Ghat, and Brahma Ghat, and so many, Bhishma Ghat, so many ghats he went. And everywhere there were some local brahmanas who would be eager to perform the ceremony and ask lots of dakshina and prasad. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would happily give. Sometimes they fight among themselves to get more. And Chaitanya would just laugh. Then in the noon time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in his room, cooking lunch for himself. At that time, Ishwar Puri again came to that place. And Ishwar Puri would always be shaking. Not because of Parkinson's, because he was in ecstatic Krishna praying. His body would always be shaking. So he came, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered him obeisances and a seat. And Ishwar Puri saw the cooking is happening. Actually, Ishwar Puri joked. He said, Pandita, I think I came on the right time. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, please have prasad here. Please have lunch here. Ishwar said, no, I can't have. If I have, what will you eat? He said, no worries, I will cook again. But if you have, I'll be so happy. Ishwar said, no, why you want to take burden of cooking again? Do one thing, whatever you have cooked, make it half. Half I will take, half you will take. Chaitanya said, no, if we both make half, both will be unsatisfied because I made only for one person. You please have full meal. I'll cook, it's not a big deal. I'll be very, very happy if you have. And very lovingly, very great affectionately, the great service attitude, he fed the full meal to Ishwar Puri, and Ishwar Puri had full loving meal, which he has cooked with his own hands. And then he helped Ishwar Puri wash his hands and feet and offered him garland and sandan. And laughing, Ishwar Puri left. When this pastime was happening in Gaya, Mother Lakshmi in Vaikuntha saw the whole pastime on her CCTV. And she thought, oh, Mahaprabhu will have to cook again. So she came down invisibly in the kitchen, cooked one more meal and went. There was already a meal for Mahaprabhu. That is how he serves Ishwar Puri. It is great duty to have Vaishnava guests in our house and offer them prasad. That purifies the whole family. That purifies our kitchen, our income, our very existence. Whatever we earn, it may have sinful karma. It may have faults. Every occupation has a fault. Who knows whom you are, which company you are serving and which boss you are serving, the profit is used in breaking which 4 regulatory principles and which sinful karma, we don't know. So every occupation has its fault. And the only way that fault can be removed if that money is used in the service of devotees. More than service of Krishna is service of devotees. more valuable than following the instruction of Krishna is to follow the instruction of a sadhu. And when we serve devotees, Krishna is very easily pleased. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so happily served Ishwar Puri. Gave him full meal which he had cooked for himself. Atithi. Atithi. Tithi means date. Atithi means no date. Uninvited guest. When there is an invited guest, we are already prepared. We have cooked extra. So the invited guest will be fed. The sadhu will be fed. But uninvited sadhu will have to give what we have cooked for ourselves. That's a sacrifice. So that's considered a very great service. Especially those days there was no fridge whether we cooked food. So if uninvited somebody comes, you have cooked for yourself, not for somebody. You have to give your own meal. That's considered a great sacrifice. Any person comes to our house, 4 things we should give. Prasad, water, sitting place, and sweet words. Even if it's an enemy. If somebody is poor, he doesn't have something to feed. Water he can give. Okay, he cannot have water also. Sitting place. Okay, sitting place also you cannot have, small place. Sweet words so anybody can give. That's how we take care of guests. So next day morning, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going to the river, and again he saw Ishwar Puri. He paid full Dandavat Pranam, folded his hand. He said, Prabhu, I have one request to you. Please give me Krishna Bhakti. Please give me initiation. Please make me your disciple. I can't live without Bhakti now. Ishwar Puri laughed. He said, Pandita, I know who are you. By seeing you, by embracing you, by speaking to you, I feel the same ecstasy which I feel when I remember Krishna. So I know you are Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I know as your pastime in human society, you every time accept a spiritual master. As Krishna Balram, he learned from Sandipani Muni. As Lord Ram, he learned from Vasishtha Muni. He accepted Vasishtha Muni as his guru and also Vishwamitra Muni. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is accepting Ishwar Puri as his guru. To teach us that just by reading books, you cannot become a devotee of Krishna. Just by own self you cannot. We have to surrender to a bona fide spiritual master, pure devotee representative of Krishna. And pariprashnena sevaya, ask questions, offer service, and then the mercy will descend. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching this to us, that I am doing it, you also do this. Otherwise he doesn't need, Lord Ram doesn't need, Krishna doesn't need, they are doing it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came as a devotee of his own self. So he was exemplary. He followed everything to inspire us, and we also follow. That is the way of preaching. Preaching means following, not just giving class. Preaching means we follow, we walk your talk. What we speak, we should do. We should do minimum 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then we can tell others to do. If you just want to speak but not do, then it will not be effective. The class or the speech will not be effective. People will hear, they will clap and go away. But there will be no change in the heart. There will be no inspiration to grow or make a change or transformation. So when we are pure by our sadhana, then our preaching is effective. Then our speech is effective. Then the speech goes in the ears, and from ears it goes in the heart. And when we hear also, we should hear so that we change. There was a person who went to one shop, and in the display he saw 3 dolls. First doll $100, second doll $1,000, third doll $10,000. But all were same dolls. So he was curious how same dolls can have so different price range. So he went to the owner. So why these 3 dolls have same dolls, so different prices? $100, $1,000 and $10,000. That's a big one. So the owner took the first doll, $100, and took a small steel wire and put it in the ear of the doll. It came from this ear out. So the second doll with $1,000 took the same steel wire, put it in the ear, it came out from the mouth. The $10,000 doll, he put the steel wire in the ear, it never came out. So he said that is the difference. This doll hears from this ear and leaves it from this ear. The second doll is better, it hears from this ears and at least speaks about it. Third doll, it hears and directly goes in the heart and remains there. That's a student of Srimad Bhagavatam. Not hear and forget, or hear to give next class, but to hear and keep it in your heart, implement in your life. Hear Bhagavatam and become Bhagavatam. Don't hear to vomit to somebody else's ears. That's not the purpose of hearing Bhagavatam. Okay, what we hear, we share to others, that's preaching. But that sharing also should be for our purification. That sharing also so that it helps me to implement. For some people, sharing helps them to implement. So that should be the purpose of sharing. Not vomiting. That I vomit and forget it. So Ishwar Puri told Pandita, I know you are Supreme Personality of Godhead. I know in every time you come, you accept a spiritual master. So this time also you are accepting me as a spiritual master. Even though you are God, but I will be happy to do this service in your pastime. Go and take bath in the river and I will give you the mantra. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so happy, he went to take bath, he came back, came out ready, and he initiated him. and gave him Hare Krishna Mahamantra to chant. And after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu completely changed. He was no longer interested in his Pandita activities of grammar and teaching and arguing and debating and logic. He was just crying and crying and crying. By chanting Harinam, his ecstasy got developed. He was just crying in separation from Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Radharani, crying for Krishna. So he started crying and crying and crying. And became so much into the mood of separation that from Gaya he straight wanted to go to Vrindavan to search for Krishna. And in that mood he would have gone. But the demigods got concerned. They said, if he goes to Vrindavan, how will preaching happen in Kali Yuga? So the demigods spoke from the clouds. Akashvani they call, a voice from the air, requesting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not to go to Vrindavan now, go to Navadvip now. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu calmed himself down and he went to Navadvip, Mayapur. And that's how he started preaching Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Ishwar Puri. And the spiritual master of Ishwar Puri is Madhavendra Puri. So we are in that parampara. And it comes down to Srila Prabhupada, as founder Acharya of ISKCON. And whatever he has given, all ISKCON devotees follow, including gurus of ISKCON. So we have to follow it as it is. Then we will be successful in life, successful in spiritual life, we will grow in spiritual life. We don't know Krishna, so we don't know what will please him. We have only material experience, and we can't use our material experience to please Krishna. So we don't have to invent or innovate or concoct or speculate. Prabhupada knows Krishna. He knows how he will be pleased. He knows what he likes and what he dislikes. Rupa Goswami knows. So we just follow them. If we want to please President or Prime Minister, we have to ask their assistant, how can we think? What I like, he must also be liking. Let me take samosas for him. Maybe he like burger more. Right? So that's not the way to conquer. So we follow the acharyas. That's the only way. So we are fortunate, we have everything Prabhupada has written down in his books, and we have devotees who are following it for years and years. We just have to follow those devotees undeviatedly. And that's how we become successful. So we should continue these programs. We should continue our sadhana, our seva. We become serious in bhakti. Determined that this life, last life, we go back to Krishna. No more coming back in birth. No more coming back in this material world. No more coming back to the womb of another mother. Enough is enough. So by our chanting, by our sadhana, this is possible by the mercy of Krishna. So we should continue to be serious practitioners of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is very easy, it's very simple, not difficult. Only we make it complicated. Just practice simply, especially the morning program. Everything else will be taken care. And preach. We should have more and more preaching programs. More and more people should come to temple, more and more people should take up Krishna consciousness. And existing devotees, we should take care nicely. We have so many kids around here, they are the next generation leaders. So we should spend time training them, taking care of them, especially when they go to teenage. They need additional help and support in their challenges. So we should take care of them nicely. And that's how the community expands. Okay, we'll end here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Caitanya Caritamrta ki jai, Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Hare Krishna. Any comments or questions? Yes, Punya Shloka.
So obviously there are 5 rasas. One of them is Vatsalya. Is Vatsalya that goes both ways? Obviously when we talk about Vatsalya, we give the example of Shodamaya and Nand Baba, that how they are, they see Krishna as their child. Can it go the other way? Like devotee thinks of Krishna as his mother and father?
Yes.
And then that would be Vatsalya as well?
Yes, yes. Pradyumna, Samba, they were sons of Krishna in Dwarka. And they would love Krishna so much. Pradyumna, he had so much respect for his father that he would always see only feet of Dwarkadish when he was near him. Keep his eyes low. And Dwarkadish would say, Pradyumna, I am your father, you can see up. You can see my face, you can embrace me, you can touch me. But Pradyumna was always like that. And sometimes Pradyumna was born first and he grew very fast, and his childhood was not with Krishna because Sambara kidnapped him. So when he grew fast and eventually killed Sambarasura and came back, Sam and other boys were very small. So sometimes they would be playing in dirt and mud. And Krishna would pick them up in his lap and arms, and all the dirt and wet kicture would be upon Krishna's body. And Krishna would not mind. And Pradyumna would see this and have tears of ecstasy in his eyes. But I was not fortunate. That I was not, when I was small, Krishna didn't pick me up like this. And my father is so merciful, so loving. So, that ecstasy is there, the devotion is there, paternal. That we see Krishna as one and relate with him as son or daughter. Krishna had 1,61,080 sons and 16,108 daughters. And they all had children. So there were millions of grandsons, children, and their children. So Krishna at one point had a full family of 100 million personalities. Okay. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the beautiful class. Prabhu, in the Prabhupada teachings, we see that there is emphasis on that we should not desire for mukti or liberation, and a devotee is happy wherever he is, as far as he is in the service of the Lord and Vaishnavas. And at the same time, we see there's emphasis on that we should always desire that we should be our last word and we should go back to Godhead. So we as practitioners, we are not on that liberated stage that we will not desire for going back to Godhead, and that we are happy to take birth again, and because we don't know where our birth will be. Like, so to what level we should have that desire and pray to Lord? Like, is it okay?
Is it okay to go back or pray for going back?
To have that desire and pray. Right?
Yes, yes. It's okay to go back. The menu is better. What will we do here, especially after the destruction? There is nobody to preach. So you are correct. The initial inspiration to do bhakti is to go back to Krishna. Nothing wrong about it. At the same time, when we advance, we realize that actually what Krishna wants should happen, not what I want should happen. So let me leave it on Krishna, whether he wants me back or whether he wants me to continue preaching here or doing some service, whether he wants me to go to hell and open ISKCON temple and become a temple president there. It's hell only other places also, but anyway. So initially there is attraction towards going back, and that's fine. And in advanced devotees situation, that attraction finishes because so much attracted to Krishna and is so much surrendered to Krishna that it is whatever Krishna wants will happen. Adhanamna janamna sundarim kavidama jaladesha kame mama janmani janmani shwe bhavata bhakti ayatu. So initially I don't want material wealth, I don't want material prestige, I don't want followers, and I don't want liberation. I only want Krishna service. But we are so weak, better we go back. Who knows what accident will happen here? Yeah? Okay. Yes?
Hare Krishna. So how you were telling in today's class that after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's initiation from his Guru Maharaj, he suddenly changed. So was that change another pastime because he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or was it to demonstration for us that you take initiation, you should have a completely different point of view, approach to your life?
No, he just displayed the change. He is always same. He just displayed the change. When we take initiation, don't expect any magic to happen. You're the same person. Magic has happened, but not in the outside way of observations. We become more committed, more determined to fulfill our vows and seriously continue bhakti. We get mercy of the spiritual master and the Guru Parama. So initiation ceremony is different from initiation. Initiation is a process. Initiation ceremony is an event. Like admission of school is different from education. Admission is just an event, but education is a whole 10-year, 12-year process. So main thing is education, not admission. So main thing is shiksha, guidance, to grow in spiritual life, to practice spiritual life, to surrender to the spiritual master. Ceremony is the one-day affair which helps us to find. Yes, Achut sir.
So now we are the second and third generation of the Prabhupada's disciples. How to maintain the position of Srila Prabhupada so that it's not diluted in anything?
We do in ISKCON as it is what Prabhupada has said. He is the center authority. Follow his books. First read his books. Then go to other books. Or don't go to other books. First read his books. Preach his books. Distribute his books. And follow his programs. Whatever he has given. And speak about him. tell newcomers about him. We should be very careful about this. Otherwise, many organizations don't last 3-4 generations after the founder leaves. If ISKCON has to last, most of the organizations die out in 100 years. That's research. If ISKCON has to last, the only way is to stick to Prabhupada. If we deviate, we will not last. Already ISKCON is facing problem in these 50 years. Right? Next 50 years, next 200 years, it's only by Prabhupada's directions. Prabhupada with tears in his eyes multiple times told, don't change. Just maintain what I have given. Don't add, don't subtract. We are in Prabhupada's ISKCON. He is the founder and owner. So we do what he said. If you do something new, make your own ISKCON, make your own organization, do what you want to do. You become founder. There you implement whatever you want. You are in his house. Follow his rules, not your rules. Right?
Then how we can understand, Prabhupada said don't change anything, then how we understand the other editing in the Bhagavad Gita?
Oh, okay. So, well, Prabhupada dictated and his Western disciples heard and typed and then published. So, some errors were there because they were not used to hearing Prabhupada's accent. They were not used to Sanskrit. And some typos. So that was edited and corrected. There is a agenda or subject about some places meanings have been changed. So BBT has published the original manuscript, the edited one, side by side on their website, that anybody can go and check. And still if somebody has a question, they can send the question and they will provide an explanation that why it was changed. So Prabhupada's tapes are available, which he dictated. Prabhupada's previous editions and current editions are available. Prabhupada's original manuscript is available. So BBT worked hard, BBT scholars worked hard to give us closer to what Prabhupada wanted to give. And I understand there are some points where some changes seem to be changing the message, so that's a bit controversial in ISKCON. So PBT has agreed to print unchanged versions also if somebody wants to just stick to them, even though there are grammatical errors. Somebody says okay. The changed versions still have the same potency because those are being distributed in millions and people are becoming devotees. So the potency is not lost. So yeah, that is from the PBT about this.
Last one, how, as a community, how we can safeguard devotees from the Vriksha?
By talking about Prabhupada and the proper philosophy.
Sometimes we saw that there are messages in our community group, WhatsApp.
Just ignore them. Our devotees who are close to us, we can tell them about it. So we don't have to highlight. When it's not there, we don't have to highlight. Like many of might not be knowing, so why should I keep discussing now? Yes. You raised hand, Rasika.
So, my question is to, we don't want to mostly put the Prabhupada, and I was thinking if you can provide any feedback for this retreat, where you feel that we are going astray from that. I mean, it doesn't have to be now, even later, like that would be very helpful because you're coming again next year and I want to make sure that it will it gets better every year. Especially we have new devotees also. So we don't want to make the side in the basket business again.
Well, the retreat was very nice, and I saw in principle nothing was a deviation. Some details can definitely be modified, but Mangalarati was 5 a.m., that's fine. Prabhupada did at 4:30, that's fine. And we did Singh Aarti, Tulsi Aarti, and Japa. Japa 16 round takes 2 hours. We had, I think, 1 hour or by 5:45 we started. Shankaradi Guru Puja, all good class. Prasad, another etiquette. It was excellent.
The classes are
thoroughly-
excellent.
Huh?
The classes are excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, I like my classes too. Yeah, I was very happy to be here last year as well. Now I interact with all of you and have question answers and individually also interact. It's a wonderful program. We should expand this. Go to a bigger place. Invite more devotees. If possible, all over from Australia. Or at least give that opportunity, whoever wants to come. So that will enhance. Okay, all the best. Yes.
Because the question that Mataji was asking about initiation and then giving the example of admission and education. It's not very common, but there are still some thoughts, some of the devotees I heard in this one as well, saying, once you check Diksha, the Diksha Guru will check you back to Godhead. So, but is it the correct understanding? My understanding was that Diksha Guru will show you the path. You will follow all the instructions. And like if God has tried his own thing, no one else can try for him. Same like you have the admission, but you have to study for whatever number of years to pass through. What's the
Right.
share?
You have to follow your Diksha Guru. Not that Diksha is done, I sleep and I go back to God. No. You have to follow the instruction. Right? If you don't follow, Diksha Guru cannot do anything. Obedience is the disciple means obedience. If you obey, then we will go. Okay? Yes, bro.
We talked about Ganga Maya and how by taking bath in Ganga Maya the sins are eradicated. So the actions which are coming after that in general, from general people's life. So many people go and take bath in Ganga Maya. So how to understand that?
Reactions?
Because we talk about we are going through the cycle of karma, birth and death.
Okay, after taking bath, still the reaction is
Yeah.
coming. One bath may not be sufficient. And after that also we do sinful activities. So Ganga Maya's benefit is after multiple baths. Harinam once is sufficient. Tirtha, pure Vaishnavas are called Tirtha. And the difference between them and Ganga is one, Ganga you have to take multiple baths. Pure Vaishnava one darshan is sufficient. And second, Ganga you have to go. Pure Vaishnava come to us. They are mobile. So the association is in Kali Yuga more powerful. Ganga Devi asked Krishna that in Kali Yuga people will be so sinful, they will come and deposit their sin in me. How will I get clean? And she said, Krishna said, my devotees would sometimes come traveling and take bath in you. And when they take bath in you, all the sins will be removed. So they said, how will I identify it? He was Kali Yuga, everybody will wear saffron. He said three things. They will be always chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. They will always be discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. And not always, they will be only eating Mahaprasad. Not always eating Mahaprasad. Whenever eating Mahaprasad, they will be. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, for such an amazing class. Prabhu, in terms of Dham Yatra, a lot of times we as devotees, we desire to go to different temples around India. What does Gaudiya Vaishnavism or our previous acharyas recommend? Because we have limited time when we go to India, limited time off from work that we get. But if we just focus on Sri Dham, or is it okay to travel to other places?
No, Vrindavan, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri. These are the three dhams for Gaudiya Vaishnava. Higher than, Rupa Goswami says, higher than Vaikuntha is Mathura. Higher than Mathura is Vrindavan. Higher than Vrindavan is Govardhan. Higher than Govardhan is Radhakund. And higher than Radhakund is Radhakund. Anything else? One step in Vrindavan gives more benefit than going to millions of pilgrimages all over the universe. So we don't have to go to other places. Vrindavan, Mayapur are not different. So that's something. If you are talking about sufficient, these three are sufficient. Okay, inclination is there, then it's a different thing. Then Dwarka is there, Nathdwar is there. Huh? Rameshwaram, Badrinath, Kedarnath, Gopal. Inclination is there, okay, do Bhakti. But not necessarily. Cruise is there. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for your time and patience. Prabhu, what I have learned from your classes and for having your association is your non-judgmental attitude. You have been so merciful on us, and everybody is so comfortable asking questions to you, and your answers are also so precise. So I'm really sorry if I'm asking about yourself, but I really want to learn how to develop that attitude, or maybe you can give this general answer like what should be our endeavor to develop this attitude of being non-judgmental to everyone.
I don't know.
So was it having since birth? Was you like this since beginning, or have you cultivated this attitude?
Nothing I didn't. I just chanted holy name. He did. He is to be given whatever credit or debit. So well, Pandita Samadarshina. We should not see externals. Everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. We love Krishna. We love his parts. And everybody is growing. So a doctor in the hospital doesn't judge the patient. Oh, he has cancer. Maybe he's eating tobacco. Maybe his liver is damaged. He must be drinking alcohol. He has wound on the head. Maybe his wife beating him. No, the doctor sees patient and has compassion and treats. Doesn't see the cause, right? So we just treat everybody with compassion, with love, with friendship. All people have their past, and we hope everybody has a good future. So we help them to develop a good future rather than seeing their past. Right? So we just chant Hare Krishna. By chanting Hare Krishna, we go from Kanishta Adhikari to Madhyama Adhikari. And the same chanting, we go from Madhyama to Uttama. Uttama means no discrimination, no judgment. He loves everybody. So by chanting Hare Krishna, everything is done. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Your advice on we have now completed the IDC course and looking for we are making ourselves eligible to get the Guru's mercy. So there were two chain of thoughts in that. One is Srila Prabhupada's direct disciple, who are very few now in numbers, and it's very hard to do both Vapu and Vani Seva for them. And then there's a second generation, which is Prabhupada's disciples who are coming. So they just started out in the journey to start taking disciples. So there, if we look for shelter under there in the second generation of gurus, then we get a chance to do both Vapu and Vani Seva. While in the first one we'll get a chance to do Vani Seva. So what would you guide us, like who are looking, how should we approach this?
Well, if the parameter is Vapu and Vani, then Vani is more important. At the same time, when there is availability of Vapu, opportunity of Vapu, we do that. Taking initiation from this generation, that doesn't matter. Bona fide spiritual Guru Tattva is one. Only the presence of the Tattva in the body or in the personality is different. Like TV signal is one, but different sizes and brands of television are there, but they all show the same program. So Guru Tattva is one, we get connected to the Guru Tattva. Having said that, it is good to take from proper disciple when that's availability, because they have that kind of seniority and experience, and it will help us. But that's not a compulsory recommendation. Whomever we are inspired from, we can take. That's fine. Okay? Yes, Mother.
बहुत अच्छा आपने लेक्चर किया, बहुत अच्छे से किया। तो अगर हम कहीं बाहर जाकर कोई प्रोग्राम करते हैं और अगर हम परंपरा भूल गए तो उसकी जगह भगवत गीता रख सकते हैं, ऐसा मैंने किसी से सुना था। तो वो
मतलब बाहर जाते हैं,
जैसे कोई प्रोग्राम कर रहे हैं, जैसे यात्रा में कहीं ले जाना और भोगा लगाना है भगवान को प्रसाद, तो परंपरा नहीं है वहाँ भगवत गीता रख के भोगा लगा सकते हैं।
भगवद गीता किताब
जी
भगवद गीता खोलो ना, उसके अंदर परंपरा है।
हाँ, तो इसीलिए पूछ रहे, वो क्लियर करना चाह रहे हैं, क्योंकि मैंने सुना था।
नहीं तो भगवद गीता खोलो, उसमें परंपरा है, वो भी ठीक है। परंपरा ही है वो, उसमें फोटो है ना गुरु महाराज और आचार्य का, ठीक है। बोल आजकल तो मोबाइल में भी आ जाता है, रख दो, परंपरा ओपन कर दे। Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. From yesterday, I'm struggling to understand why it's a pious activity where, say, if you're helping, if you've got like a community organisation where you're helping kids or taking them off the streets, so they're not causing havoc, etc. How is that pious if you're, for example, someone could give their life to doing that, or a teacher could spend their life in a really difficult school teaching the young kids and stuff. Like in a say public education, you cannot, or maybe you can, but you can't tailor it towards Hare Krishna. So you dedicate your life towards that, because everyone's got to work and earn an income, etc.
Dedicate your life to public school?
No, you get like teachers that are like, you might, you know, lower socio-economic school or in a really
Yeah.
difficult, struggling school where the kids
What
are
education?
wild.
Material education, normal education.
Yeah.
Not Krishna consciousness, you are saying.
Yeah.
So your question is how that is
Why is that?
less, considered less important or something?
Or pious in terms of, like, if you've got, like, I don't know, a boxing club where the kids are off the streets and you're helping them and you're dedicating your life to that, is that still classed as pious because it's still materialistic? Because you cannot then tailor it to Hare Krishna every time.
So why is it still called pious, you are saying?
You said it's pious.
Yes.
Still. Is it still pious?
Yes. Pious is a good thing, or your question is about it should not be pious, you are saying? What is your
My understanding
confusion?
of pious? What's pious mean? Pious is bad?
No, pious means
Oh,
punya.
Okay. Sorry, I've misunderstood that. Sorry.
Pious means punya.
Okay.
Pap
Pious
means
was bad.
sin.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Okay, you slept well? Okay, when I said pious, it's punya karma. It's different from bhakti. Bhakti means something related to Krishna. Pious is just for human or animal, but not related to Krishna. Yeah? So pious is good karma. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Paresh? Yeah. Radhika? Yeah, of course we hear the mantra when we chant. But if you think how Krishna is enjoying the food. And how Jagannath and Baldev are eating idli and other Jagannath is saying, Mera idli kidhar hai, only one plate is here. Only one plate came, we are so many here. And Krishna Balram are saying, what about my sweets? You can think how Krishna is enjoying that. Yeah.
So this question related to us. So even like when we chant, is it okay if we remember any form of Krishna in meditation?
Well, our effort should not be. Our effort should be to hear. If some form comes, we don't have to try to bring or we don't have to try to take it away. Should be to hear. Form comes, it's nice. Yeah.
So I have one more question. So this is question related to an incident that happened recently in Nasik. So there was one very senior devotee and he met with an accident, and it was a tragic accident. Like in the train, they were coming from Kumbh Mela, and he just for a break he went and stood near the door of, like, the train was going very fast, and somehow what happened, don't know, he fell down and he died. He passed away. So it was a very shocking incident for all the devotees, and it's very difficult to understand when such things happens with devotee. And then this question came in my mind that was he destined to die in this way, or was it that he misused his free will or something like it's
See, if he jumped, that's misuse. If it was accidental, then it was destined. So, we practice bhakti, devotees practice bhakti, death will not come. That will come at its time. And that time, whatever circumstances we are in, those circumstances and those objects or events would become the cause of death. So if he was at home at that time, death would have come through heart attack or something like that. So when the time comes, death comes. Soul doesn't die, only body dies. The soul continues its onward journey in Krishna consciousness. So while we have affection for devotees and we have that grief, at the same time we understand Krishna is not unjust. Whatever Krishna does is good for us. Subhadra Maiya's only son of Abhimanyu died in front of Krishna. And she didn't thought Krishna did bad. Krishna is her brother and Bhagavan both. But she thought what Krishna did is good. So we should have that mentality. If a sister's son dies in front of brother and brother doesn't take the boy to the hospital, the sister-brother relationship will be finished. She will never see the face of the brother again. Why didn't you help my boy? And here is sister-brother whose son died and brother is Bhagavan. So while grief is there, but you know Krishna is first. Who is the devotee?
I don't remember his initiative name. Just Vignesh Prabhuji.
Yeah, we pray for him, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra once for him. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, yes.
But just on that point, so what is the difference between untimely death and so untimely can also be destined, like or how to understand that? And is it different results after that? So people say, okay, untimely death, you have to.
That's only because we understand death in a particular way, that it should come in old age. If it doesn't, we say it's untimely. That's only from our observation side. Philosophy, there is nothing untimely. The time has come and the person died. Only suicide is something which the person chooses to die before the expected death time. Otherwise, it's not. Even accident is not accident. It's Kal. Time. Kal kills everyone. But Kal doesn't take responsibility. So we give credit or whatever, responsibility to cancer, heart attack, accident, this, that. But actually they don't kill, only Kal kills. When the time comes, Kal will act.
And same thing with so many Srila Prabhupada disciples, they left the body due to cancer. Lots of them, like so many of them. So how to understand that as well?
But time has come. Because all these things are increasing.
And can we also say that Krishna is showing using them as examples that even though that situation came, how dedicated and committed they were throughout that journey. So just for us to set an example for us.
Yeah, definitely that is there. In that sense, there are many reasons and many things happening in that individual's life which we are not aware. His next service, his previous service, his role, many things are there. Yes.
Why are like pure devotees everything about not afraid of death and how should they achieve that?
Well, if you have a ticket to Vrindavan, you will be happy. Will you be afraid to leave Earth? In the same way, death means going to Golok Vrindavan. You will be happy. There is no fear of that. Fear is because of fear of losing. Losing body, house, car, attachments. So when you have nothing to lose, you have no fear. So fear is because of attachments. You have no attachments. There is no fear to lose anything. So a child going to the lap of mother is very happy, no fear. So death means going to Krishna's lap. Right? What was the second part of the question?
How do you achieve that?
By continuing the process, increasing our attachment to Krishna and reducing other attachments. When there is no attachment, then only there is no attachment. Mataji.
Just regarding something like that, when one of the incidents in our village happened was like mother killed two of his brother and son first and kills his suicide. So suicide is a bad, but then kids did not did the suicide. That is a mother who
kill the kids. So what is the kids like as a soul? How, what's the journey, and
Where are they now?
the three of them died.
No, what is your question?
My question is
What is
like,
the
you know,
reason?
if the mother did the suicide, so suicide is a sin and it's bad, but the kids themselves, their life is gone, they're supposed to live. So I couldn't understand then what is their next journey for that particular soul. Was it like a considered as a suicide and they have to, or how?
No, so that's your question. What is next journey? I don't know.
So it seems unfair, I think.
Yeah.
Unfair on the kids.
So their life is short because of their previous karma. If somebody kills a kid or abuses a child or does abortion, next life they'll have to undergo something similar. Right? So somebody killed their children, so next life their mother will kill them. Karma is like that. Okay?
And this is, we need to think like that, those kids has a short life.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Prabhu, how we were talking about like when we are chanting, our main focus should be on listening what we are chanting. But if, like sometimes it happens that I'll like if I'm looking at, say, Lord Krishna's Bal form, and then my mind drifts away to one of the Leelas. So do I need to bring it back?
Yes. Bring it back to the holy name.
Not drift away.
No, no. Don't make a schedule, Monday Makhan Chor, Tuesday Govardhan Leela, Wednesday Agasurva. Bring it back to the holy name. Mukund Prabhu.
Somehow today my mind is only bringing the practical stuff out there. Sorry, it's a little bit out of the topic. So in terms of the following the Prabhupada's sort of whatever the system Prabhupada set it up. Sometimes we see that when we doing the arti things and then devotee takes the arti trade, and as etiquettes, you know, just offer to Srila Prabhupada's senior disciples or sannyasi or visiting guests as arti. But then but we see sometimes devotees then sometimes they end up going into sequencing, you know, let's find the other senior devotee next to them and then going all the way to the back and devotee standing in between sometimes wouldn't realize whether it's for me or it's just passing by and everyone get confused. So what is the right way to approach this situation?
No, this
I know
is
it's a simple but
this is correct. After Prabhupada, it should go to seniors first and then to others. So if two seniors are there in two different corners of the room and if it is practical to walk, it will go to both the seniors and then to general mass of devotees.
I understand the senior part, but then what about that? Then sometimes it's sequence follow. That senior and then the next one and then the next one. Even the hierarchy.
Okay, which was senior first? You are asking which senior first?
No, I'm saying that if they are located a different way, if there is no seniors, they will find who is the most senior out of this crowd and they'll go to there.
That's okay.
How many of them? Is that?
But if there are regular members, it's okay to commonly give everybody. If there is a sannyasi, or there is a Prabhupada disciple, or there is a special guest, they give first. If they are regular everyday devotees, it's okay. Managerial authority is also there. And it's okay to give to one or two over there and then the rest all common, that's okay.
Because sometimes there are newcomers or the children, you know, they end up putting taking theirs, so they feel a little offended as well.
No, it's okay, they will understand. Yeah. I'll come back to Dr. Harish.
How are the souls identified? Like here we can physically see like who's who and differences, but how does it work with individual souls?
So they also have, soul also has eyes and memory, mind and intelligence. It's all spiritual. So this body is like your globe. Globe is made as per the hand. Similarly, this body is made as per the soul. So the soul also has hands, legs, eyes, ears, nose, everything. Yeah, the spiritual
So
sense.
in human, like in this form,
Yeah.
or
At the same time, those who are serving Krishna in different forms like peacock or garland, flower, cows, they are also spiritual bodies. They can see, interact, remember. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
One of the recent lectures I heard from Prabhu, she was sharing an incident that once a devotee got Srila Prabhupada Harinam Chadar, and Prabhupada said, I'm not going to wear it because it has holy name in it, and I don't want holy name to touch my body, different body parts. And she said, but now the trend has changed and the devotees are wearing Harinam Chadars, and we also see like clothing with Krishna's pictures, even ornaments, jewelry. Is it authorized to wear, or is it offensive? Even Japa bags have, Krishna's photos or pictures, T-shirts, hoodies, there's so many things, like it's all that. Is it bona fide?
Well, I don't know about the incident with Prabhupada, but yeah, Harinam Chadar is somebody is wearing and paying obeisances or going to toilet, not good. And any such article should be above waist, not below waist. And bead bag is okay with Hare Krishna Mahamantra or photo of Krishna. Pendants are okay. T-shirts are okay, but we also go to washroom. So that can be challenging. So some things are okay. And if somebody is a bit reserved about it, it's okay not to do, like I never use such bead bag or Harinam Chadar. It's okay. As Krishna consciousness expands, these things will be part of and attract people. That's how they relate to Krishna. So in the name of preaching, we have this opportunities to everybody. So that's okay.
So what is the standard practice? What should we aim for?
A serious devotee just live simply. But if it helps us to remember Krishna, that's fine. Serious devotee should just live simply, not go for fashionable clothing and accessories. Vrindavan.
In Krishna, do we say Vishnu Bhakti or Krishna?
Vishnu Bhakti. Some very enthusiastic Prabhupada disciples converted from Vishnu Bhakti to Krishna Bhakti, which is not wrong. Scriptures say Vishnu.
Temples talk about Krishna Bhakti.
Because another enthusiastic one.
Only concern I have, these Jagannath pictures and everything in the big bag and the clothing. We put in the washing machine and wash, crash, and put in the dry. So it's an offense, no?
Well, Jagannath is there on the t-shirt, even if he is not there.
Yes.
Right? So, the form of the Lord on the altar as a deity and the form of a Lord on the t-shirt is not a deity, not identified as a deity. So there's a different etiquette for it, and that's fine. Right? He's too big for inconvenience. He's like a child in the lap of mother. Sometimes kicks the mother, passes urine and stool, or spits. Mother is still happy. Mother loves the child. Mother doesn't feel disgusted or wants to take revenge. You kicked me, I will kick you. Right? So Lord is too good. If that helps us to remember Krishna, it's okay. Okay. Yes. What is temple policy?
Although the pamphlet has Krishna, but we did raise this and it was decided that we will change it. But all those pamphlets have been printed long back, but the standard now is Vishnu. But that's the original one.
So that standard is communicated?
Not yet, because we still have to change the pamphlet.
So you have time till communication.
There are many things we communicate.
So till that you enjoy freedom. If you are asking me, I use Vishnu Bhakti. So I would suggest that. But I would not held you next time if you don't do. Nothing about that. Yeah. Yes, please.
Prabhu, there are times, sort of what I asked yesterday, but it's in addition to that, that there are times when we feel really low, thinking of our faults, our anarthas and all that, thinking that, you know, and you look at other devotees, you see all the good qualities in them, and then when you look at yourself and you think, you know, I'm just a lowly person, you know, and then I'm committing maybe offenses to others, Lord, and not having this bhakti and not being able to live up to the standard of the ideal devotee. So, what should be our thought process during that? When that can make one feel really low, like.
Yeah, hope against hope. That when I see myself, there is no hope. When I see Krishna, there is some hope. Because he is Patita Pavan. He is merciful even to fallen. If you are a doctor and there are two patients in the room, one with minor injury, one with very serious problem, whom will you go first? So if you are Patita, Krishna will come to us first. It's so nice. Everybody has chance. So his mercy is great. So we just continue. Yeah? Yes.
I have a question that if one devotee is serving Lord Jagannath throughout his life and is very much attracted to Jagannath ji, so will he go to Jagannath Puri-Dham or Golokam?
I will not decide. That's between that devotee and Lord. Let them figure out. Krishna will decide. Generally we go back from where we came. So the attachment we have in this birth to a particular form of the Lord may not be the same attachment we have next life or last life, or from where we came. So whatever it will be complete satisfaction.
To know how to identify that, like how all the Goswamis and pure devotees in one form, they used to always worship and meditate. Like in our house, usually we have God in house, so Jagannath, we also like to go out, we also. So sometimes, I mean, we particularly have an attraction to one form, but then sometimes we love them also,
Yeah. So at this stage it's okay. We serve everybody, all of them, all the forms. And gradually when we are advanced and completely purified, inside us an attraction for a particular deity is revealed. And internally we focus on that. Externally we continue our sadhana. Prabhupada advised Grahasthas to have Gaur Nitai, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, and then Radha Krishna. These forms are okay. And Krishna Balaram. These forms are okay.
One more question.
Yeah.
So like we hear that if one commits Vaishnava Prad, then we should like forgiveness from that devotee for it. But when one devotee performs a sinful act, like even after he comes into Krishna consciousness, is advanced, but due to some sinful tendencies within heart, one day it's coming in action, not able to control that. Like he knows within that it's wrong, but somehow it's getting pulled back. So what atonement should we perform?
Just continue chanting. Just continue the process of sadhana. If somebody is harmed in that act, then we should beg forgiveness. Some loss has happened, then we should rectify it. But atonement is just chanting. Just continue. Seek help if it is repeatedly happening. Yeah? Yes, Radhika.
In this spiritual world, actually no, like Caitanya Mahaprabhu is very material. In real life, Prabhu is the Harinam. But in this spiritual world, then kind of like our voice hand goes to Harinam. The Mahaprabhu is the only purpose.
Yeah, spiritual world, gopis do lots of Harinam. When Krishna left the Ras arena with Radharani, the gopis were searching for her, for him. Searching, they found Radharani alone. Krishna left Radharani also. And they went into deep dark forest. Krishna was not visible. Then they decided, let's not search, let's do Harinam, he will come back. And they were chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna came back. So the original Harinam came down from that Harinam. The gopis did. Yeah.
Caitanya Mahaprabhu backwards in the spiritual world.
Sorry?
Like Caitanya Mahaprabhu, like the Maya in the spiritual world.
He wants to do Harinam with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah. Okay, whether in the spiritual world, Mayapur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his associates, are there ladies there doing Harinam? That is the question. I don't know. Spiritual world, Harinam is in the background. Services are directly done to Lord. Those are not there. And as a sannyasi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here in the Leela didn't relate with ladies closely. But there is nothing like that. So all devotees will be equal there participating. Right? There is no such vichar there about gender. There is nothing like that. Okay? So yeah, your answer will be yes.
So can we both be at the same time in Goloka and in Mahaprabhu Leela?
Srila Bhakti Thakur talks about that. Like the associates of Krishna came also as associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Srila Bhakti talks about that. There's a special opportunity.
Those are attached to Mahaprabhu.
Yeah. Enjoy. Have feast both the places. Next question. Yes.
I may be wrong, but that's why I'm clarifying. That Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra, I was told that they are a manifestation for this material world. Like, do they have spirit? Like, do they exist?
There is Jagannath Puri in the spiritual world. Yes. The eternal personalities.
So same form.
Yeah.
So same rules, like how they say in Jagannath Puri that Ekadashi is not observed, so same thing happens there.
Spiritual wise, somebody will do Ekadashi. sadhana. Ekadasi part of sadhana here in our daily world. Spiritual, only Ekadasi.
For the kids who don't like Ekadashi, they should enter the
Yeah.
spiritual world.
They don't have to.
Any more questions? Yes, Mother.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु, जैसे हम भगवद गीता में हमारी परंपरा है कि कृष्णा ब्रह्म माधव बड़े संप्रदाय की परंपरा का लिस्ट है पूरा, जिसमें आखिरी में श्री प्रभुपाद आते हैं। तो उसमें कुछ जैसे कृष्ण फिर ब्रह्मा ऐसे आती है, तो व्यास जी के बाद फिर काफी गैप दिखता है, तो उसको हम कैसे?
तो वो दीक्षा परंपरा नहीं है, शिक्षा परंपरा है। तो जिन आचार्य या those devotees who have given major contribution and carried forward the Shiksha line, their names are there. So there are in between also devotees, but they have not done, apart from the regular routine services, they have not done that kind of contribution to carry the parampara forward, so their names are not there. It is a Shiksha parampara.
शिक्षा परंपरा, दीक्षा परंपरा नहीं। और एक प्रश्न था कि जैसे मध्वाचार्य और फिर इधर जैसे हम सुनते प्रेम भक्ति माधवेंद्र पुरी से शुरू होती है, तो उनका थोड़ा।
तो मध्वाचार्य और उनके फॉलोअर्स आपको उडुपी कृष्णा में भगवान गोपाल वात्सल्य रस का टाइप है और दास्य रस है मेन की सर्वेंट ऑफ कृष्णा. Madhavendra introduced this conjugal melody that we worship Radha Rani and Krishna together. That's why ISKCON Prabhupada didn't have Laddu Gopals in any of the temples. We have only Radha Krishna, Gaurnika and Jagannath. The conjugal melody is worship. Madhavendra Puri started that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is in the mood of Radha Rani. So he gave us Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay. Yes.
Prabhu, in line with this Parampara question, I'm having a question is, how and who decided those names? Because there might be some other names missed out, or how, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were here 540 years ago. So the rest of the names, how and who decided?
There are other names and there are other devotees. We are getting Shiksha in this line, that is mentioned. There are many devotees also in between. In between in the sense around. But if all are mentioned, then only that only will be printed in the book. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur made this line to tell to the world publicly that the knowledge is coming from Krishna till end. Unbroken discipline succession. There are other devotees definitely.
So this is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati.
He made that line.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I mean, the line already existed. He put it on paper and told people that, see, we are in this parampara, this is where the knowledge is coming from. So it's bona fide. Okay. Yes. Well, Vaikuntha, Lakshmi Narayana are worshipped, and Golok Vrindavan, Krishna, Radharani, Yashoda Maiya, Nanda Maharaj, they are there. In Vaikuntha, the mood is of Aishwarya, that he is the Lord and I am servant. So there is some superior and inferior, and there are lots of respect, awe, reverence, obedience, fulfilling orders. Goloka is Madhurya, there is no superior, inferior business. They all are equal to Krishna or higher than Krishna, and they have very intimate, close dealing with Krishna. So they don't see Krishna as God, they see him as friend or son or lover or hero of the village. And they play, dance along, sing. So the main thing is the mood. In Vaikuntha, the mood is that he is God. In Vrindavan, the mood is he is our chora or balala or coward boy, village boy. So it's more intimate. Krishna likes that more. Okay? Yes, Radha.
So, since Srila Prabhupada didn't say to worship to the power, does that mean it's not idol? And if it's not, then do we have to give up his worship?
Well, in temples definitely we don't have any altar in ISKCON. And in houses, because of additional culture of Hindu or Gujarat devotees, or even other, not just Gujarat, other Maharashtra also. So Laddu Gopal has entered on the altar. So if somebody is comfortable to stop, fine, recommend it. But if the faith has developed or attachment or love has developed, and since so many years we are doing, how can we give it up? So just maintain it. At the same time, when we are preaching and new people come and see our altar and see Laddu Gopal, two things will happen. Either they will think we are not following Prabhu because he didn't recommend, or they will also start doing it that Prabhuji does it, I will also do it. So we'll help continue a new parampara. So a preacher should be more responsible. Yeah. So if you're inclined, you can give a Laddu Gopal to somebody who wants to worship. If you're not inclined, continue. If you're attached, don't disturb your mind. Okay? Yes.
जैसे पहले से लड्डू गोपाल जी हैं, तो उनके साथ क्रोलिंग राधा रानी जी का फोटो रखना चाहिए, जैसे हम लोग के यहाँ।
हम तो बात करें लड्डू गोपाल को पूजा नहीं करना है, अभी कैसे करना है वो कैसे बताऊं मैं जब नहीं करना है।
पहले से है।
ठीक है, खिलाते रहो उनको। Radharani and Krishna are worshipped in Yugal form, in the youth form. They are together as divine couple in the youth age. That's more appropriate. Next question. Breakfast time. Okay, what is the time now?
9:24.
Okay, I am going to Bandweri today for a class. Then going to Mandura for another class. I am free in the evening if you want to meet again.
Prabhu, so from India, can we have our morning Bhagavatam class?
Yeah, sometimes we can.
continue.
Yeah, sometimes we can.
On the weekends.
Yeah, yeah, happy to. I am comfortable with Zoom and Zoom both.
Gokuleshwar, Prabhu.